Hello guys, it's Michelle. My hair is really messed up. Sorry about that. It's really windy here in Florida. Um, I'm supposed to tell a certain part of my story today, and I'm new at this, so please bear with me. I have to start somewhere, so I'm trying to finish, God's calling, and so praise God. And I've been encouraged to do it, and the Lord said now's the time. I don't know if it's too bright behind me, so please bear with me. I'm not. This is all new to me. I wanted to leave somewhat of a good background. Anyway, please bear with me. I'm having to hold the phone. Like I said, this is all new to me, and forgive the noise. It's windy, and there's something like aluminum's banging over there, so forgive me. A lot of distractions. It's actually kind of cold out here. It feels good though. I like it. Anyway, I don't like it like extremely cold, but I do like it. Anyway, shut up. Let me shut up. Anyway, like I said, this is new for me. They want me to do a short video about a part of my testimony that I had shared today with somebody, and they wanted me to tell you the story. And I'm learning to talk also because I have to be able to do this thing. So I'm learning. There's so much that's happened during my testimony that I'm really, even with the book we're trying to do, that it's impossible because the Lord wants me to do it, and I had to wait till now because of the depth of it and everything that was coming out with it. It was a lot to it. So and I don't feel adequate, but that's not. I have to just do what the Lord says to do, and He said now's the time, whether I'm ready or not. So, and I didn't feel very ready right now. Be honest with you, I didn't really want to do it right now because of where I'm at the moment. But I have to obey the Lord. The Lord is the one that is brought me to this point on purpose and wants me to tell the story so people can be saved and healed. But I mean, of course, I'm only telling just one testimony that was really cool, but I'm just trying to explain it at the beginning of this because I'm going to be sending videos to them. They're helping me. And eventually, I just have to tell the truth and just tell it the way it is, and good and bad. I mean, there's different parts to it. So anyway, the one thing I want to be sharing, excuse me, throat's acting up. One thing I want to be sharing today is about my testimony where, gosh, it's so hard to say that one part, but I am trying because I don't want to jump around. They're trying to teach me to stay on that one topic and stay in that time frame, which I'm trying. This part, there's two parts. Well, this is harder than I thought. Anyway, I'm working on it. Please be patient with me, just in case this part gets out there, which is fine. Because of the programming they did to me in the past, that's part of my story, that I had a badly broken nose and I didn't even know it. Okay, went on with my life. Please bear with me, I got new teeth and I'm still trying to talk with them, so that's kind of funny too, and I'm trying really hard here. Basically, I okay, they had an X-ray of my head. And God heals me of a lot of things. It's really cool because I had a minor stroke which showed up on there, and they took another X-ray and it disappeared. It was gone. Like God healed it. So it's so cool how He's doing this. He's purposely giving me miracle after miracle after miracle to keep me alive, so I can tell the story. And I also know there's a good side of the military and the dark. Well, there's a dark side and a good side to everything, and there's a good side that's been keeping me alive too, because they already know my story. I don't even have to. I mean, it's not like some people are trying to hide from the government. Also, so they already know everything. Trust me, they're everywhere all the time. They know what's going on, and they know ahead of time I was going to be telling this. So they've been protecting me so I can actually do this story, because it's so major. But there's so much to it. It's going to have to be in parts, and then as I tell it, of course, I'm supposed to be just telling the one thing. I'm working on it, guys. I'm working on this. This is all new to me. I actually ran from it for a while. I didn't realize that's what I was doing, but I was so scared, and I still think there may be some little parts that are there that are scared too. I'm not positive on that because I'm like fighting myself, and it's more than just fighting the flesh. It's like I'm fighting another part of me that doesn't want to do this because they know the the intimidation and abuse and torture and things that took place was so intense that those little parts are scared to death. And I'm trying to encourage, if there's anything there, to please come around. And because I remember times in the past where they stuck with me and I was able to go forward and do do whatever I was doing for the Lord. It was easy because everybody was in one mind, or whatever you call it, one together in one heart. Anyway, I feel I got healed probably all of it. There's probably a few parts maybe still there. I don't honestly know. they work with so many. I can't. Gosh, there's probably thousands of parts there from multiple personality parts that were created on purpose to help me through, because that was my coping mechanism, which I had to learn all this later. I didn't know anything about it at the time. Excuse me. Okay, let me stay on the course here. My testimony she wants me to do, and of course I'm practicing as I do this, and is to tell how my nose got broken. Um, anyway, and I didn't know anything about it. I was like in the movie Jason Bourne and Bourne Ultimatum and other shows where all of a sudden they find out stuff about their lives. Well, that's me, and I'm finding out stuff that was completely hidden and buried that I didn't even know, and I'm still learning stuff, and I may still continue to learn stuff as go on because it's so massive and so deep. But that's okay. There are some out there that know it, but they won't tell me, and on purpose they won't tell me, and that's okay. Maybe that's probably for a reason. So I just have to go on and just trust the Lord to tell what I do know, which is enough, basically. Anyways, Jesus, please help me do this. I want to pray. Lord, help me to say what I need to say and get this testimony done, and everything I need to say and the way I need to say it, how you want me to say it, and help me get this done, Lord, because without you, I can do nothing, like the Bible says. And I know I'm nothing. I mean, I know that I've been through enough times, and I fell a number of times, which is also prophetic. It was pretty much prophesied ahead of time that was going to happen. I didn't mean to, and it's a whole nother story there. But when my life was turned around at 18, I had a fight with an angel, and I don't have time to go into that, but I actually, in the fight, I fell like five or six times, something like that. I don't remember exactly, but I don't know. They took the video from me later, so I don't know. Sorry about my hair. It looks hilarious. I'm sorry. I have to laugh. It's like, what am I going to do, cry? Already done a lot of that. Anyway, I mean, you got to have a little bit of joy. You got to have some fun, too, so I'm trying to here. Anyways, Lord help me. This is not easy. And I'm only telling one easy part, too. I just don't like being in front of people. I don't like doing things outward. It's really hard for me, especially in front of people, and I'm having to do this part, which is extremely difficult for me. So I am trying, guys. This is another reason why it took so long, because I actually probably ran from this because of the nature and how deep it was, and part of me already knew how deep it was. The other part did know, and anyway, it's still coming together, and it's taking a lot to get here. I went through massive stuff just to even get to this point, and people who have heard it, not very many, but have said it's a miracle I'm even alive, and it is. I think back on stuff, and it's totally, I don't know how I got here, and it's totally a miracle I'm alive, and I have to give God all the praise and all the glory, and He's kept me going. Even when I was losing it, I would give it to the Lord, and because I could tell, I mean, in myself I could tell, I mean, it was too much for somebody to handle, and I had to stop splitting off, which after I learned about it, because I didn't know, I had to learn to work through that. Then I had to stop actually doing it, and pray to God to help me stop it, because I couldn't keep doing that and do what I'm called to do. So anyway, and if there is anything left, and He left it there for a reason, if there's any parts there, which I don't think so, but if there is, I mean, there might be. They're there to help keep me going and to finish this. So God knows what needed to happen and what still needed to happen to keep me going and to finish this whole thing. So anyway, I guess I was just trying to explain things a little bit, and please forgive me. I was trying just to, oh, my birds are back. Hold on a second. They always let me know. I just fed them, and they were out for like 5 days till I got some more bird feed. It's so funny. I'm so sensitive to stuff and animals. I can read them and understand what's going on with them. Anyway, they'd ran out. Every time they run out or start getting low, they start tweeting at me, let me know that they're out of food. So it was funny, because it took me a couple days because I've been sick. So anyway, I finally got it over there and tweeted earlier. Yeah, I hear them over there. It's mainly the robins, but there's been other ones too. Some I heard one today I never even heard before. It was really a pretty bird, music wise. I mean, singing. It was so. Let me shut up now. But anyway, it was pretty cool. Okay, I'm going to get this done. I am going to do this. I was saying that to myself. I was telling the devil, I am going to tell the story. I am going to get this done. I am going to finish God's will, no matter how much comes against me. And everybody's known all my life. Everybody's known me, knows that this was coming and that I need to do this. And so much took place that people were wondering what in the world, and I did too, for that matter, because it was amazing. Oh yeah, they're overeating. Sorry. Anyways, okay. I was at the doctor, and I am so sorry about the hair, but I did the best I could. Okay, they did the other X-ray the next time, and that's when, of course, the stroke part was gone. But they said there was a growth right in here. I had already had 5. Well, I think it's really getting hectic over there. I don't even know what it is. I'm gonna have to check later to find out what is banging, because every time it gets windy, it starts banging. 5. Goodness gracious. I've had like 5 cysts removed, benign, thank God, in the past, and I know I tend to have growth, so things happen like that. The first one I noticed was during my C-section. There was a big cyst on my left fallopian tube, and they had to take it out, and that was the first one I believe I had. Then I had other ones since that I've had removed. But anyway, there was and this was one of them that was in there, and they told me about it, and and I had to go back to their office, and they wanted to look at it since they saw the X-ray, and it was a nose doctor. I forgot the name of it. I can't remember. Anyway, well, he put this thing up in my nose, and he was going to check it, and I literally started freaking out. I mean, I don't know how to explain it to you. It was like tons of memories starting to come back at that moment, and I panicked and freaked. It was like another part of me was freaking out. It was really strange. I don't know how to explain it. And I kept telling him to stop, and he kept going, and I couldn't believe the guy wouldn't stop, but he finally did stop after I almost forced him. I almost threw him across the room. I mean, I didn't, but I had to like push him off me, and I could have thrown him harder, but I didn't, but I was like freaking out, like, because I didn't understand. It was hard to explain. I mean, it was like I remember the panic from when I was younger, from something like this happening where they put something in my nose too, and it came back as a memory and literally freaked me out. And I don't know what age I was. It came up at that moment during when I was at the doctor this time. Well, anyway, he had to stop, and I told him I can't do this. And he had to actually leave the room and come back. And I was sitting there. I think I started crying. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. And this is when I was still learning about the multiple personality thing, and I was already going through inner healing and deliverance at this time, and that's when this situation came up. And so he came back in, and that's when he told me, or he may have told me before or after, I don't remember, but he told me I had a badly broken nose. And I said, I do. I had no idea I had a badly broken nose. No idea. So that was news to me, and as I said, was learning things about myself that I didn't know. I knew a lot of things I didn't know how I knew, and it was just really strange. My whole life has been like that. My ex used to say my life was never a dull moment, which is true, because it's constantly something going on. I'm not trying to do that; just that's my life. And once you hear the story, when you get a chance to hear the whole thing, you'll understand, why that is. Hang on a minute. I try to put my makeup on, and I got something in my eye, or itching. Sorry. Okay, so then they had to take me to I asked him, I said, well, they set up a hospital time because they had, sorry, it's making it hurt my eye, and it's windy out here. They had to man, it is really windy. You probably can hear it. Anyway, they had to put me in the hospital, knock me out to do it, and I even asked him, I said, how many times do you have to do, or do you have to do that to anyone else? He said, yeah, about 1 or 2 a year. Of course, I'm always the strange and odd one, so yeah, I'm one of those they had to knock me out to go up there and look at it. But instead of just looking at it, they took it out, which I guess they'd planned that, but I didn't know. So they got in there and they did that. That was done, and then I started praying because, well, first they told me that later I may have to have surgery, and I hope I don't, because this is extremely painful, where they go in there and they open everything back up, because as you get older, I guess things change or whatever, and you have more trouble breathing, which I've had more trouble breathing lately. And I've been also doing a lot more crying because of what's been going on and has happened, in my life. And I'm starting to realize more stuff. It's hard to explain, just my circumstance where I'm at. And, Lord knew ahead of time I was going to do more crying, which is interesting, because one time in the past I couldn't cry because of what they did to me. And I know I'm, saying they, and people don't really know what I'm talking about until they hear the whole story, but they programmed me and did all these things, and I was not allowed to have emotions, or I had to learn to suppress them and everything else, which I did. Well, I didn't have to cry normally, and that's another story how that came about, where once the Lord came back in my life at 18, how I was able to finally cry. There's only a few times I ever did cry up until that point. One was when my dad died, but not until after I did this flag routine on the band, and after we finally did the routine, then I broke down and started crying when we got all A's on the band thing. And everybody, of course, knew about my dad. And I knew why I was crying. So, but they said I didn't have to be there. But I said, no, my dad would have wanted me there. So, because he'd been sick for a long time with Huntington's disease because of Agent Orange. So, being over in Vietnam, getting the guys out. That's what, he was deep in the military. I mean, deep. And he was sent over there on purpose to help get the guys out. And I learned this all later, too. I didn't know this at the time. There's a lot more I learned that I wish the people that things happened to me with my church, would have just waited and let me work through my situations, and they would have understood stuff better, later, but they didn't do that. And hopefully one day, if they finally do hear my whole story, they'll understand why that all happened, because I know most people can't even understand me, let alone try to understand little parts of me, and it just complicates everybody. And it's hard for me too, because it's out there, but it's all true, so I have to tell it. Okay, well, I was praying. I said, Lord, hang on, I gotta get a sip of my tea. Hold on a second. Sorry about that. I asked the Lord. Oh, that's what they said. That sometimes as you get older, you have to have surgery in there to breathe. Well, I also have sleep apnea and things like that. When I sleep, I stop breathing and different things. And I noticed since I've been crying a lot more that I had, it like swells up when you're crying, so I couldn't breathe. I'm not able to breathe. So I'm gonna have to contact them. I've been putting it off because I really don't want more surgery. I have immune system disorder, which. A lot of reasons. Here comes that Facebook thing. I apologize, guys. I'm gonna have to learn to shut that off. So I'm still new at this technological thing. I'm not as good as everybody else, so please forgive me. I'm trying my best here. Okay, so basically, God, I gotta get better at this. This is so hard, but practice you get better. So I'm trying. Okay, so they let me get back where I was at. Sorry, the what do you call those big birds? I forgot what they're called. They had the big feathers and the hind end. And, I hear that they're over here too. It's almost like a farm out here. There's a bunch of stuff. I hear them squawking. Meow, meow. Anyway, okay. So, Lord help me. Sorry, I get distracted easy. I'm sorry. There's a lot of stuff going on out here. I should have stayed in my room and did it, but that's okay. I wanted to be out here in the air instead of being cooped up in my room to tell this. Just trying to make it a little better. Oh, I was gonna say I noticed these black marks underneath my eyes right here and right here. It's hard to point and do this with the phone, but if you look right here, it's like a tear going down both sides, and it's really cool because that happened when I was starting to learn to cry, and I couldn't cry on the inside. Like the inside was crying bad, and almost, and Pastor made a comment before of a part screaming, so there was parts of me that were literally in terror, and I didn't know it, but they did, and parts of me were scared to death and in terror. So basically I couldn't cry for a period of time, and I wanted to, but I couldn't. And now I can't hardly stop it. I have to watch myself, because when I cry now, my nose swells up, and the back, whatever was back there, that because it's badly broken. And it's so funny because before they told me it was badly broken, I didn't know it because it was subconscious. I had no idea it was even broken. It just went on my whole life like that. But it got worse later, of course. But I honestly didn't know. And since they told me, now I know it is badly broken because I can't hardly breathe. I'll sit there and hold my nose to the side, and I can actually breathe better. It's really strange. But I may have to get back with them. I started to, and I stopped because I'm trying to get this done. I don't want to be, I really need a lower back surgery. They were supposed to do it after my neck, which was very severe. I don't have time to explain that too. That was a total miracle. I shouldn't even be walking. Should not be walking, and it surprised them too when they went in there. The whole thing was weird. I don't have time to explain it. It's a whole nother story, whole nother testimony right there. But again, God kept me going because He knew I couldn't. And some people can, maybe are meant to. I know it sounds funny, but God uses people in all kinds of ways in different places, and there's different reasons for things that happen. There's nothing happen by coincidence. Things happen for a reason. Anyway, I look back at my life, and boy, it's getting chilly. And I knew that I wasn't supposed to, that I couldn't, because I only had was my mom, and I was helping her. My brothers were gone, and if I was in a wheelchair, I would have died, and I would have killed my mom too. So, and because of the story and my testimony and the call in my life, which I did the whole time as an intercessor and praying, because I'm very deep in that, and I'll actually feel people's other pain in me. That, like when I was a firefighter as an EMT, I would feel people's pain before I got turned around, and we would run on the same pain. And I remember once this really taught me something, is that I had pain in my chest for the whole morning when I got this shift. I got to my job, and I kept telling the guys, I said, look, I said, I'm having a heart attack or something. And I said, oh, no, they're just playing around. I think I'm just playing around or whatever. I said, no, I'm serious. Well, around lunchtime, I think it was around 12 or 1, I forget what time it was, but we were, having lunch, and the alarm went off. As soon as the alarm went off, bam, the pain left my chest. And we ran on a guy who literally died of a heart attack. And God was trying to show me this stuff, and I didn't know how to pray. He died. That was it. And since, I got turned around at 18, and I don't have time to tell that, but I learned later how to pray. And when I started experiencing those things, I actually prayed, and I saw miracles happening where people didn't die, and because I was actually help carrying their physical pain. I don't know how to explain all that. The Holy Spirit works in all kinds of ways, but He knows who to put what on, so they'll pray. And I've learned to pray in the Spirit that way as well, because sometimes you don't know who you're praying for. Sometimes, hang on a minute, I thought I had a bug on me. Sometimes He'll reveal who it is. Sometimes I have no idea, and I just have to trust the Lord. Sometimes I can't tell if it's my pain or someone else's, and it really is complicated, but God knows, and I just have to leave everything with Him. I mean, we'll know in eternity about a lot of things that we have no clue of here. I mean, there's so much we don't know. It's not even funny, or it is funny, I should say. I don't know. Anyway, let me get back to the end of this, because I need to go to church. Actually, I need to start working on my story. I was trying to do it with it's actually perfect out here to do it, so I may start working on it tonight. It's hard to do when you go to church and do all this stuff. It's hard to do everything at one time. I'm doing the best I can. I know I'm running out of time, and I'm, trying to get this done and do the best I can. Man, my hair is all over the place. Sorry, guys. This is new to me. Okay. All right. I was praying. I'm going to get this done. I will get this done no matter what distractions come. I rebuke all distractions in Jesus' name. Leave me alone. Okay. So I said, Lord, please show me when I broke my nose. I mean, obviously, when you break your nose, you're going to know you broke your nose. You just don't forget things like that. Now, I knew from 0 to 6, I didn't remember hardly anything, because they blocked my memory on purpose, because my dad got sick and I couldn't follow the original plan from being adopted on, or actually born on. It started, and it's hard to tell this without saying certain parts. Well, anyway, they, they do stuff to program you. They do stuff on purpose to make your mind split off. Or in this case, when the memory came, well, let me finish saying it. Well, obviously the guy was angry, but I don't know why. I mean, he did it on purpose. I don't know. I don't know what he wanted me to do. I don't know what I didn't do. I don't know. But then when he finished saying it, I was praying. I said, Lord, please let me know when I broke my nose. I said, obviously people know when they break their nose. So I said, please let me know. So I kept praying about that for, I forget how long I prayed. A couple months maybe. I don't remember. There was so much going on at the time, going through all that deliverance and stuff. There was just tons of stuff happening all at one time. I just had to take 1 minute at a time because I didn't know. Well, I went to a prayer meeting that, or actually it wasn't really a prayer meeting. We ended up praying at the end, but it was called Joy Fellowship that my church had, and the ladies got together, and and they had like somebody teach and different things, and then they prayed at the end. And they brought different people brought food and stuff like that, and you just had to enjoy the time with fellowship with the other women. So I wasn't really good at being around other women for some reason. I don't really know why. I wasn't against anybody that I know of or whatever, but it wasn't that easy for me. I've had to learn to do that, and because I know to go on with what I'm called to do, I'm going to have to do that. So I am, and I have, and it's not so bad now. And it's actually nice, because a lot of women I know that can relate to me, but I guess at one stage there, for some reason I didn't want to be around any woman and stuff, and I don't really know why. I had a great mom that raised me, so I don't know. Only God really knows. Maybe it's more stuff there that I didn't know. But anyway, I'm saying way too much. Okay. I mean, God's already healed me with a lot of things. I know a lot of stuff happened when I was adopted, or when I was abandoned at birth. I mean, a lot of things happen to you right then to begin with, so it's hard to really tell. It messes with all kinds of different parts inside you, so I have to leave it with the Lord. Anyways, so I was praying. I said, Lord, please show me. So I was at this meeting, and like I said, I was doing better around people, but unfortunately at that particular time there was so much going on that it scared a lot of people at the church, and I didn't mean to. I never meant to, and I never did anything to them, but they started to freak after a while because it was so classified and getting so deep. And at first I wouldn't let it go, and I was pursuing answers. So, and one time there I was hurting so bad that I was actually trying to get them to kill me. I mean, seriously, by pushing for answers and doing things I was doing and pushing buttons, but I was doing it to get answers or force him to take me out, because at that point in my life I was in so much pain. I was like, Lord, just please, just, I didn't actually say that. I was just trying to force it to happen, and just keep serving the Lord. But anyway, it's kind of bad. It's all screwed up. But that's where I was at the time, and I'm no longer there. I know I can't get the information, and if I, maybe one day somebody might slip me some information, and they don't have to be there, whatever, and that's fine. If they do, great. If they don't, I mean, I already had people look it up. I know what's there, and I know how deep it is and how serious it is, and it's too much to explain how I know in this short segment here. But I've had so many confirmations of, and people that did look it up at the time who got in trouble for doing so, serious trouble, and they were deep in the military as well. Anyway, but he did confirm what it was, and then he told me and my son to take off and never come back again, because they were on the opposite side. They were on the bad side, and that's when I was going through. My Lord, it sounds like tornado weather out here. Sorry, this is really weird out here. Anyway, I've had that happen too, where things start acting up around me, weather and everything else. Every time I try to sell, this is like a spiritual battle going on. Every time I try to tell my story, and every time I do, I notice the anointing shows up too, because God's on it. It's always been like that. I remember one time I told my friends testimony at my church. It was two of them. We went to our house, and they wanted to hear my story, and that was before this all started about my testimony. This was years ago. Hey kid, hey Gizmo, hey kitty, yeah, hey kitty. Sorry, she's been gone. Hey, baby, it's okay. What? She's scared I'm over here talking. I don't usually do that. It's alright, baby. It's okay, Katie. That's Gizmo. Hey, baby. I don't know if I can get her on there. Want to say hi? Where are you? I don't know if you can see her. Sorry, it's all messed up back here. Hi, say hi. Come here. Say hi. Yeah. Good girl. Yeah, good girl. That's Gizmo. I hope you saw her.